Um, well, where to begin? um, it's been a long time coming. This one. Been carping on the river for about 4 years, 5 years. Dedicated. I've landed my first 20 on a barbel rod and a centre pin. And I've been sort of obsessively chasing them ever since. Initially, I started off doing quite well. I had 420s in my first season, and the last couple of years have been a complete blank, grueling, horrifying, terrible. I don't know what else there is to say about it. Last year in particular, I had a lot of time to go fishing. I think I probably did about 60 nights on the river. And it flooded and it rained and it flooded and it rained, and I never saw a fish and I never caught a fish, and it was heartbreaking. Soul destroying is what it was. Slipping around in mud, unhooking bream and chub in the dark, in the rain, with the river flooded again. And last year was supposed to be the big season where I got the platform and I was taken to the water, and I was going to the plan was to take the river apart in the secret spots and the secret swims, and just never happened with the floods. This year has been a bit of a different story. It's been a funny old year with the coronavirus anyway, but it's really kind of played into my favour in that essentially the government told me to go home and find a fish for 3 months, and that's what I've done. I've spent the whole time pretty much daily on the river. I think I worked out I was doing about 30 miles a week at one point, up and down the river, and eventually I actually found some fish, including a couple of very, very, very big fish. And one in particular, big common, it's not a fish I've seen before. Certainly not, I don't think I've seen it before. There's not many fish up around that size that have been caught around here anyway. And I wasn't sure it was the only other big common I'd seen, but it was certainly a very big fish, and I've seen it in the same place a couple of times. I haven't been fishing where I've seen it. I've been fishing quite a long way away from there, fishing for sort of smaller fish, really. Sort of decided not to focus on the size so much this year after 2 terrible seasons, and just try and get a few runs under my belt. So since June 16th, I've had 5 fish, including one stalked 20 free lined on a little bit of yellow pop up in the margin. And then it brings us to this week and the first session of the season out on the platform. An utter nightmare getting set up, absolutely covered in scratches. The bank here is made of some sort of mithril or adamantium. I can't get no fittings in. It took me 2 hours to get stable and anchored up. And I've put in a little bit of bait, and very soon after I've sort of settled in for the evening, the right hand rod has absolutely melted away. In a very awkward and tangly way, it's picked up the bait downriver, come upriver underneath the other 2 rods, picked both of those rods up in the process, and gone into a snag upriver. I don't know if you can see from there, but there's a big overhanging tree and quite a snaggy area right next to the platform. I eventually managed to untangle the other 2 rods and get them out of the way, and picked up the other rod, fully expecting the fish to be gone. But it's come out of the snag without too much problems, popped up straight in the margins, and I've seen straight away it's a very big fish. I'm straight away 99% sure which fish it is. Very big common. And then it started fighting back and fighting and fighting and fighting, and it must have been 15 minutes at least from where I've first seen it that I've managed to get it in close, and second or third time of asking, put it in the net. At which point I've just collapsed on the deck because as it's gone over the net, I know what fish it is, and I know that I'm probably looking at definitely a new PB by a substantial margin, and I think I'm looking at Trent 30. If it wasn't, it was bloody close. It took me about half an hour to physically be able to think about weighing it. I've just cut the leader off, I've put the rod away, I've unhooked it, I've seen it on the mat. It's enormous, far bigger than anything I've seen on Trent before. And eventually I've plucked up the courage to weigh it, and I've put it on the scales, and it's gone to 31.4. An absolute unit of a common, really, really special fish. And don't really know where to go from here, if I'm honest with you. I guess it's pleasure fishing from here on in, because that's a fish of a lifetime in the sling, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to beat it. Is that all right?